Good morning, everyone. I'm here today to start the event talking about trust. Is the voice okay, by the way, or do we hear any? I think it can be better. Yep. Thank you. Yes. So today I would like to talk to you about trust. And first things first, I would like to tell you why this topic, why it's so important. I was an engineer, and then I was managing the teams of engineers, and my previous manager told me, hey, you need to build a trust with those guys. And I said, what? I'm an engineer, I'm a developer, and you are talking to me about trust? You know, we are not on the workshop, soft skills workshop, right? But he said that yes, definitely read about trust, because building the trust in the company, with engineers, with the stakeholders is very important. For me, trust was like thing to be in relation with each other, but not to be at work with this, trust aspect. So I did some reading about that, and today I would like to tell you what I found out and why it's important. Any of you knows this term, VUCA? Some of the people, it's getting more and more popular. Actually, it's a very old term because it was invented in US after Second World War, and it describes the world that we operate in. So the world is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And why I'm telling you that? Because obviously that's the definition of the whole world, including all the politics, military, and so on. But in our case, it's very much like this as well. What I, sort of call it is the MUCA acronym. That's my definition. But we are talking about those four aspects while developing software. First things first, market dynamics. We have a lot of companies popping up, closing down, a lot of startups. So the market is very dynamic. We have huge demand and huge new solutions that we need to adopt in our companies. Then we talk about unknown requirements. Are there any people here who had this beautiful conversation with the business that they don't know what to develop, but they would like you to develop? Yes, exactly. So, and I observed, because I was a developer like 20 years ago almost, and I observed this shift that 20 years ago, developers were most of the time coding, what is well known. Now, developers are more speaking with the business, very close to each other. Obviously, we have product owners and so on, but developers also need to speak with the business, because we need to help them, to tell them what to develop, right? We solve the complex problems. That's our job. We love to do that, right? And my beloved one, estimations. Do you like this conversation? Okay, how long does it take to develop? Exactly. Yet we don't know, and we know why we don't know, right? But explain it to the other people, especially to your business guys. So it somehow corresponds to me that we are operating in this ambiguous world, and somehow trust is the answer. And also trust is incorporated in those 4 sentences. I guess you know it. Who doesn't know what that is? Oh, there is one person. Okay, definitely good that you raised a hand. That's Agile Manifesto. 4 sentences that people, I think, almost 22, 30 years ago defined how to produce code better. But what we see here is that there's a trust inside of each item. So individuals' interactions. If we would like to interact with each other, we need to build trust. Customer collaboration, obviously. If we don't want to just focus on the contract, on the fees, penalties, and so on, we need to be open to trust each other and to collaborate. Responding to a change, obviously, as there is a market dynamics, we need to have a trust actually to ourselves that we will be ready to change code, to respond to this changing environment. We won't be frustrated, we will be more open. And based on that, we produce working software. So now, that's the mystery slide. If you would like to remember one thing from this presentation, that's the one that is upcoming. How the trust is being built, or how it's constructed. For me as engineers, I distinguish two pillars of trust: cognitive aspect of trust and emotional aspect of trust. And we tend to focus on this cognitive aspect of trust in our daily life, because it's about our skills, our knowledge, our experiences. So this is basically when someone is coming to us saying, hey, could you deliver this piece of software, this user story? And we say, yes, we'll do that. Could you move our solution to cloud, from on-prem to cloud? Yes, we'll do that. And once we deliver that, people will trust us because they will see that we deliver stuff. So they see the results. On the other hand, we have this emotional aspect of trust, which is in our mind subconsciously present, but we don't think about it every day. So this is about our attitude towards others. This is our showing our intentions, that we have the open intentions. This is about our being open and being honest. And our brain subconsciously scans the environment, searching for people or the humans that we can trust. If this person is open with us, or he or she has different agenda, right? And we don't ask, sometimes we ask ourselves this question, but usually our brain subconsciously scans the environment. So if we, as a people, are open, then other people's brain will scan the environment and will choose us, hey, this person is reliable, I can trust this person. We can call it integrity. We are in integrity. So if we deliver software, deliver results, we know what we are doing, and we know how we would like to show it to the people, that we show our intentions as open intentions, we can gain trust. So it is about competence and it is about character. Now, competence is our cognitive intelligence. So I guess we all use that in our companies, in our daily work, because this is about those aspects of analyzing the data, putting inside the logic, the business logic or the logic on the paper. It is about language we use, and not only English versus Polish versus German, but this is also about our technical language. By the way, why do you know why is there are challenges between speaking between people, between business guys and technical guys?
They speak different language.
Exactly, they speak different language, and this is the funny story is that we treat their words and their language as a buzzwords, like what buzzwords we can have, like DevOps. DevOps. Okay. It can be the buzzword, yes. If, excuse me? Unicorn, exactly. Any other buzzwords? Synergy and the strategy. There is even the song on the YouTube when they put all the buzzwords like synergy, strategy, and they compose the rock music. So I recommend you to listen. So all the buzzwords that we don't understand, we think, there are buzzwords for us. And I had a funny story that I spoke with the CEO, one of the CEOs I met previously, and I asked him, because he joined the company, and I asked him, okay, so what's our strategy now? Strategy? Because you need to speak this guy's language. What's your strategy on our technology stack? And he said, oh, I would like to break a monolith, for you to break a monolith, to go microservices and go to the cloud. But you know what? You need to speak with the CTO because I'm talking buzzwords here. So for him, our core language, our core definitions are the buzzwords, right? So that's why the language is very, very important in building trust. And the data, obviously. Nowadays, we analyze a lot of data, and we need to have this skill. On the other hand, we have this emotional part, which is emotional intelligence, let's call it that way. It is getting more and more popular nowadays. And this is about recognizing, understanding, and managing our emotions. So basically, if we have the meeting, for example, and we don't know why we are so frustrated, that we don't know what's happening, but we are rejecting all the tickets from the business or the user stories from the product owner, we may realize, hey, maybe I am angry. Because of what? Maybe because of different situation, but this different situation influenced the current meeting. And vice versa, we need to recognize and understand the emotions of others. So if product owner, for example, rejecting our suggestions, he or she may be sad, or maybe in a mood that influence the decisions. And why do we need to understand that? Because if we see the bigger picture, that's basically the data, right? Different kind of data. If we understand what's going on in the meeting, we can name it and say, hey, you know, how about postponing this meeting because I see that right now is not the best time for you to have this conversation. So this type of examples. Obviously, this is not so easy, but if we understand the mechanism behind, we can have more data to react on. So this is at the end of the day embracing our emotional part. So you see the journey. We started with the DevOps, right? With the trust-driven development. We went through some buzzwords, and now we are ending up with emotions. What the heck? But I guarantee you that that's the way to break the silos. Because here, I guess you are familiar with, I guess, all of the tools as we are on the DevOps conference. And the challenge that we have right now, that's a lot of different tools supporting different domains of producing software. I wouldn't call it phases because we are now not in the waterfallish world anymore. However, I see some companies that they are still doing waterfall, and that's okay. But what I would like to show you here is that we have different domains. We have domain of building software and the tools which supports that. We have domain of testing software, deploying, making it Dockerize, right? Then running on production, monitoring, and so on and so forth. And the challenge is that all of us are focused on different domain and speak a little bit different language. So that's how the silo starts in the organization. And silos started many, many years ago, but right now we could observe there was a movement, let's break a silos, let's do the different structure of the teams. But at the end of the day, we need to watch out because silos can be produced nowadays as a new groups of people working on the different domains. So let's say we have people who build software, right? That's why I think that was the Bezos from Amazon that he said, you build it, you run it, right? Was that Bezos? Yes. Yes, thank you. So you build it, you run it, right? So those guys who build it should at least speak to the guys who run it, or ideally should be the same group of people. But they speak a little bit different language. When I was a developer, there was those debates between developers and QAs. Now QAs are more embedded in the teams, but we are talking about debates between development and operations. That's why we have this DevOps to work together. So when we start speaking to each other, when we start speaking the same language, we can start building trust. And those barriers can be slowly removed. This is the example from the Agile world. When I was showing to people just to have observation and a little bit fun. Any of you know this diagram? Exactly. So why do I have it here? Because there is agility word in the diagram, right? But what it is the answer how to address all the groups of people in the corporate environment and putting some agile practices, or put it the business case for using those practices. And here it's a nightmare, you know. You believe me, working with them, I hear that you feel the pain. Yeah, this is the nightmare to implement all the things. But why I'm showing you do that? Because this is the new silos, let's say, that can be persistent in the companies. For example, with this group, right? This is the group of the one silos. This is the group that could potentially be the silos if they don't trust and speak to each other, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of artifacts. Those guys could focus on those artifacts, and those guys could focus on the other artifacts. And we produce the silos. So the simpler, the better. This is the DevOps evolution model from Puppet, and they said the most important thing. Obviously, they have the model, but the most important thing for me is individuals can do work without manual approval from outside of the team. Is there any lucky guy who can do that on the audience?
For all the things.
For all the things, yeah.
I don't think so.
Yes, exactly.
Especially in the corporate environment.
Especially in this one. There are a lot of points that points in the process that you need to ask for approvals. Those people, right? There was one brave hand I was seeing. So you had a chance to do the work without approval.
Yeah, deploy production before code review first. Which is one of the best practices mentioned by the Farber.
So definitely there is a hope that we don't need approvals, but in the corporate environment we do. Usually there is one person who says yes, no to going to production. Usually this person has like 100 tickets, so he or she.
It's create a production in the first place. What is a production?
Exactly. Definition of production.
Someone created it, and someone did approval.
Yeah. There are a lot of different hacks because you can have a pre-production environment, staging environment, pre-production, then hidden production, hidden pre-production, you know, all the kinds of hacks. Stuff like production. Exactly. And this is because of trust. Or vice versa, because of the lack of trust. So when I was working in a corporate environment, in the banking industry, we had weekly meeting lasting like 2.5 hours, really. And all the tech people from the bank was going there. And we had the releases on Saturday. So before Saturday, the meeting was on Thursday. Everyone was speaking during this meeting, showing what features will be going or what deployments will be doing on Saturday. And there was a board of directors who was listening to this 2.5 hours and approving or not approving. You know, you can imagine this painful process every week. We loved that. You know, that was our beloved meeting. Yes, and this is because of lack of trust. Because in a huge corporations we have less connection with the people, so people don't trust or don't build a trust with developers that, hey, if this guy will deploy to production, nothing will break. I trust him or her. So that's important piece. And I would like to today introduce this woman to you. Do you know this person? You know that? Anyone else? Yes, you know that. I like it. She's very inspiring. And why I'm showing you her, Brené Brown, because she inspired me couple of years ago to do the whole thing with the trust and with this relationship building in tech environment. And she talks a lot about various different things, the courage, being in the relationships and so on. But in order to have a trust, she said something like this, that trust is not being built in the big moments. It's being built in every single moment, in every tiny moment, every day. Which means that we need to spend the time with us, spend the time with your business guys, with your PO, with your CTO, whoever that is, to slowly build the trust, and he or she will be able to do that. That's the example that we have new joiner in the team, let's say new engineer, and we have person, the engineer who welcomes this new guy. And subconsciously, as I mentioned at the beginning, our brain scans the environment, and when we speak to each other, our brain scans our intention, our relations. Our brain can say, can I trust this person? Am I secure in this relationship? And every single tiny moment, as Brenna said, our brain scans our discussions, our relationship, and finally, hopefully, our brain decides subconsciously that yes, I can trust this person, let's connect. So that sounds easy, but we need to invest a lot of time in these building moments. We could observe it in the pair programming. So is there anyone who don't like pair programming? I like it. I like it because that means that you are brave enough to do the pair programming. Why do we need to be brave? Because there is a chance that there will be inside of you fear of rejection or fear of being assessed. And one example is that when we have senior developer and junior developer and we do pair programming, and let's say senior guy is programming, is writing the code. So he or she in her brain or his brain can have the thoughts, all right, I'm the senior guy and I'm writing the code and this junior guy is watching my code. And actually what will happen if he or she will see that I'm not a senior, I'm not that senior, my code is not that good, right? My code should be the best one, right? But that's the situation that we show our vulnerability to the other person. And obviously vice versa. When you have junior guys programming and the senior guy is guiding him or her, the thoughts could be in the head, hey, I'm the junior guy, my code is not the best one. My code is not even worth to put it out loud here. So why I'm sitting here, right? I'm afraid of being assessed by this senior guy. What will happen if he or she will tell my manager that my code is, that I don't use clean code principles, for example. So that's the fear of rejection that people might have, rejecting this person from the group of developers, from the team. And the other one, the most funny one example I had, I will tell you in a second, is the code review. So this is about assessing the code, but this is not about assessing the author. But do you feel that sometimes it's about assessing the author? Always. Exactly, always. I had a situation in my previous teams that two guys were sitting next to each other. One created a pull request, the other commented the pull request. And it's after 1 week, it was like 100 comments. And those guys were not talking to each other even, you know, but putting the comments inside the tool. And the manager of this team came to me and said, hey, can you tell them something because they are going crazy? So that was a challenging part. But it can be that way, that we are so focused on commenting the code, but sometimes we are focused on, you know, assessing the author. There is one bias that if we like someone or if you don't like someone, it influences our judgment, right? So that's obviously the joke, but good practice would be to put the people who doesn't like each other to review their code, right? to overcome this bias. Okay, and Brené Brown again. I mentioned about vulnerability, and Brené says a lot about vulnerability. So showing our weaknesses to others. And why is that important? Because when we show as we are to the people, there is a birthplace, as she said, there is a birthplace to innovation, creativity, and change. Because we are not basically afraid of anything. We can put out loud our ideas, maybe stupid ideas sometimes, yeah. But someone can be inspired from this stupid idea, or is not the best idea. Let's put it that way, politically correct. We know the systems vulnerability definition, right? Do we have any systems vulnerability engineers on the audience here today? No, but we know that there are some roles as a system engineering vulnerabilities. So that's our techie definition, that vulnerability is a flaw or weakness in the system and which could be exploited to volatile the system, and we are searching for it and fixing. So Brenna and I'm not talking about this kind of vulnerability. I'm talking of human vulnerability today, which is willingness to show our weaknesses and our emotions to others to be seen. And it is a relief when we show, when I'm a junior guy and I will not focus that, okay, my code is not so bad and not so good, but I will tell the guys, hey, I need some help because I'm just starting the journey, right? And I agree that my code is not so bad, so good maybe today. Can you help me? It relieves our fear because we put it out loud. And obviously we need to have courage to put it out loud because it can be exploited, right? Some people can make jokes of us, of our code. But if we put it out loud, we are free of these limitations. So my thought about Scrum, about DevOps, and about all the engineering practices is we need to be vulnerable to do it. Because if we are afraid, our quality of our work and our code is going down because we are hiding something. And there's no need to be afraid, you know, especially on the IT market right now. This market is so dynamic that no one will fire you because you write not clean code. I hope so, at least. You know. To inspire you today for the rest of the conference to hear all the talks, I would like to leave you with a quotation from Charles Feldman, that trust is choosing to make something important to you vulnerable to the actions of someone else. And if we do it, our creativity will go up, our innovation will go up, and will work more effectively. One more thing as a bonus today for you, as we have some time, it's a module about the metrics. So I've heard people say, give me your metrics, and I will tell you whatever you want to hear. As simple as that. We have a lot of different metrics. I use in the company those 4 mainly. We call that DORA metrics. But we have those 4 defined. And I guess I don't need to tell you, but we all know how to overcome them, right? Deployment frequency needs to go up. You know how to do it, right? Lead time for changes will go up, or should go down, should be shorter. You know how to do it, or the product people know how to do it. Slice for the smaller pieces, and there will be smaller lead time, right? Mean time to recover, that's tricky with the environments, right? It depends how we define the recovery. If recovery is going to production, yep, that's fine. We will go to production. We'll just make the feature flag false, not to show it to the people, to the customers, right? So we'll be hidden production. It will be on production, just not available for the users. So those small type of cheats that we can have here, it's also about trust, because we need to do it because we don't trust others that they will not blame us of this metric, for example. But if we understand it, and if they understand that these metrics are not to blame, but to see where we are with the software, we can be more honest in the metrics. So building software, it's actually about building relations between us, technical relations and human and personal relations. It builds trust, and it makes us feel belong. That's why this vulnerability is important, because if we show as we truly are to my team, for example, I can feel that I am accepted by them, so I belong to this group. and I'm more happy, at work. And Simon Sinek used to say that team is not a group of people that work together. That team is a group of people who trust each other. Thank you.